We are here gathering with a very important artist, Pepe Calderin, at Curated Voice Art Projects. He has a very interesting proposal about urbanism, and he is willing to talk to us today and explain what are the motivations and what are the elements that created his work. Pepe, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Welcome to the gallery, and I'm very proud that you are doing this installation.
Thank you.
In a show, Digressions and Detours, and it's very important that we can understand the different proposal in postmodern art, which requires new materials, which requires new elements to do a very cutting edge proposals and aesthetics. Okay, let's walk around so the public can see the differences of these different kind of skyscrapers, which is very important to understand, made out of a very discarded part of the computers. And we are going to be walking around, and you're going to feel that we are just having the sensation to be walking into very important skyscrapers in any big city on the current important things. Okay, so we are going now to go over and interview our artist. This is the immense panoramic of a very important city that sometimes reminds me of Shanghai, the Pudong area, which is very, very important about the trading center, as a trading center, a capitalist epicenter of the economy. I just want to ask you, where were you born, and introduce yourself so the public can really, know you, and talk about your work.
Okay. I was born in Havana, Cuba. I came over in the 70s. I have worked as an interior designer for over 30 years. And probably my knowledge about interior design and architecture, it was what led me to do something like this. Because I work a lot with LED lighting, which actually is one of the, I would say one of the best sources of light in nowadays, because they take very little space and they're very economical to actually use. The usually is very cheap to use. I was able to create this. Basically, I started doing all the pieces that had to do with also recycling material, and I don't know. Suddenly, something came into the mind, and I felt the need to start working with this. I had some computers in the office, and little by little, things started to show up in my office, and more things. So I felt that it was very easy for me to, create buildings out of plexiglass forms, and then be able to put the LED on the inside, because I knew how to work and how little space they needed to be used and how much light they gave you. And then, with that, I started, gluing. It was just like a very interesting gluing experience, which actually I was very short with time. And at times I had to get even my wife or my daughter into the studio, and they, would spend weekends there just gluing stuff on. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot.
And we feel that the recycling mode that you're using in here, it is also at the service of the ecology, because usually we don't know what to do with the computer parts, or to discard them.
Actually, I have some of the computers are actually brand new computers that are never being used. People that they're obsolete. They're throwing them away because they can't do nothing with them, and it's just a shame to just be thrown into a pile of junk. So they, little by little, they kept ending. I would keep getting more things into the office. So it was easy to really to do this.
To do this, and Tell me something, when you were building up this, how many computers, discarded parts, did you
I
incorporate?
I use a little bit of everything. So, you know, not only computers are here, but on top of this building, I have like a vacuum cleaner part from Black & Decker.
Wow.
Vacuum cleaner that I took the outside plastic and I put it on top of the building. This is also part of one of the vacuum cleaners. These are actually the injection glue that I started using to put the plexiglass together, and everything else is just, you know, the keyboards. You know, these are all the little keyboards that I have around, and this is the actual paper that is inside the keyboards, and I use it as a background to represent really like a city, people walking, subways, you know, stuff like that. And it's really, you know, it's a shame that technology has grown so fast that, you know, we have a telephone today and tomorrow we want to throw it away because there's a new technology coming in. So, you know, we find ourselves with all this stuff that we really don't need.
That's very important, because this is also a consciousness about what is the future of our society with these throwing out of the computer.
That's only happened in the past 10, 20 years. What's going to happen 20 years from now, when now we are actually growing technology even faster than we did before.
I want to ask you something that really calls my attention. Are these two from TV, or what are they?
No, this is also, these are motherboards, and this is from inside the computer. So the whole piece comes together.
They're called motherboards.
Yeah,
yes, I've heard about it.
So I try to make some of the buildings to be like very architecture and have everything around it to be almost, you know, everything the same, to be able to create like a feeling that there's a whole complete building. Some of them, you know, we went a little more creative. You know, some of these pieces, we felt like they were like lakes or pools, and you know, like the city halls, and you know, creating really like a real city inside of it, adding a little atmosphere into it.
And you mentioned also that you have your company of interior design as a designer, architecture, because this is also about an approach to architecture. How do you relate architecture in your own experience as an artist in there? Very important, because let's walk around in here and see a little bit more about what we can do in there. I have also the question for you, how you relate these architectural elements in there to your own life as an artist. What can you tell me about your architectural education and how it is expressed in this artistic work?
Well, I really like architecture, but my really background is in interior design. I worked with an architect for many years, and he was my partner. So all my teaching came from the background of an architect. So that's why I always, when I do interiors, I do very strong elements, and my backgrounds are very, you know, always do a lot of work on ceilings, on walls where they come in and out. I like a lot of isometric. So a lot of my work really, you know, has a lot to do with isometry, and in these buildings, you know, we created like towers on the top, but, you know, almost like water towers, very Art Deco. You know, like if it was like the design of the Art Deco buildings. I mean, this is a very interesting little building that we did, you know, with the antennas on the top, you know. So all that creates the architectural element into
and that reminds me here with the tower, the World Trade Center. It has a beautiful, you know, powerful tower there connected.
I mean, when we did this, we were really never thinking of a special city. It's just, you know, you have to take your imagination and you know, take it to wherever you want to go.
One thing that is very important that calls also to my attention is the moving, you know, these ventilators that you when you put it there, it looks like the building is alive. Something is happening. Probably offices, people living inside, working inside. How do you get this one, and what part of the computer are these ventilators?
Every computer has a little cooling system, so they do have a fan. The fan works very, very fast. So we were able to get a motor that will make the fan go slower, to be able to create a softer movement. Otherwise, you could never see the blade go around.
Wow, that's sophisticated.
Yeah.
Wow. And also you told me that you were using LEDs. I see also So the inside of the tower are LEDs, but also you can see also the little bulbs in every place.
Correct. Yeah, and we put them in different places. Like in that one is inside the little tower, and some of them are the buildings are lit like from the bottom. In some of those towers, the lights are shooting up, and that one up there, you can see the two little LED towers on the top. So we play around with it.
Let's go and see a little bit more about this one in here, which is you have thicker towers, powerful ones.
Yes.
They're more like somehow the elements are imposing monumental architecture. These are less thinner, less like what is in a type, like perhaps a Chicago School of Architecture.
It could be something like that. I don't really. Like I said, I never studied architecture, so this is just something that came from the divine. Must have put it in.
Very good. That's incredible. And what are you planning right now for the next step as an artist? What is it for the people that we could relate to you in the near future?
Well, I'm working with some other materials. I have recycled, hundreds and hundreds of plastic bottles.
Wow.
And I have cat cans from the cats that I have at home that we feed them canned food. So I have a box that I'm filling up with that. I've done a few pieces, some with papers, some with buttons, some with staples. And I don't know, I'm just getting excited about this, and I think there's a lot more to come. Actually, even this, I want to, maybe on my next show, take it to the next level. I was thinking of maybe actually adding sound and more movement than what it actually has. I think it will be very interesting to be able to hear the sound of a truck or people talking on the building or a bus stop, having sensor that that maybe when you're walking down this hallway, you step on something and it beeps like there's a taxi or a car behind you, and you have to jump. Be able to create like a really atmosphere that you're really in the space.
Wow, that's good. Well, and then later on, I'm going to show the public the tiger that you also brought to the gallery, which is not part of this exhibition, but it's also the recycling mentality of this artist, because it's done with the very important staples, industrial staples, to create a figurative, beautiful, sweet, and stronger tiger.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you soon, your new creation.
You sure will.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.